30 years ago, June 7, 1985, St. Luke's performed its first heart transplant. Since then, 30 years later, nearly 700 patients have been given the gift of life of heart transplantation. You just can't decide to set a heart transplant program up. You almost have to be blessed to do so. And what I mean by that is you have to have the commitment, you have to have the people, you have to have the support of the entire institution. It has to be heart transplant or nothing else. Medicine that we practice for heart transplantation is evidence-based. It's not a personal encounter. It's based on real data with real outcomes. One of the reasons St. Luke's has continued to grow and is here today has been from the accumulation of some very high-quality individuals. It's a team effort, and I am constantly reminded by a Michael Jordan quote that there's no I in transplant, but there is in win, and I've been fortunate to be part of this program almost from its beginning. I think I date back to transplant number 11. So that's nearly 700 heart transplants. I think the other thing that's important is that all the programs I've been associated with have had that personal commitment of individuals willing to go the extra mile, who stay beyond 4 o'clock, who are there at 3 o'clock in the morning. And that kind of commitment is perhaps even more important than the science itself. By volume, we have been in the top 10 now for the last 5 or 6 years. I don't look just at volume, but I look at quality. Our outcome measures have been excellent. They're above the national norm. And on those two levels, that is an area of distinction that 90 other programs do not have. And then on the third level, many of us are active with the United Network for Organ Sharing, the Midwest Transplant Network, the International Society for Heart and Lung Transplant, where we are visible and we're recognizable figures on the national scene. And all that speaks to the commitment of the program to not just be a center, but a solid program that's invested not only today, but in the future as well. I think if you're a patient who needs a heart transplant, St. Luke's is, in my humble opinion, the only choice. Because number one, you get transplanted. Our waiting times are some of the shortest in the country. Number two, we have an aggressive program looking at every donor that comes by with the thought that it's a good heart for transplant until proven otherwise. Our team is layered. It's not one individual who may or may not be on call on a given night. So all in all, I think the quality of our program speaks volumes to reasons why patients should consider St. Luke's for heart transplantation.